Hi beautiful viewers, welcome to Tally's Closet. Today we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful Queen Anne neckline with beaded detail. As you can see, it's laying flat and perfect. There is no gaping and everything just looks relaxed and nice. We'll be achieving this in just 3 steps, so without wasting much time, let's get into the video. Now the first step of course is to draft the basic bodice. I went ahead to do that. My round armhole is 7 inches, my bust point 9, under bust 12 and waist 15. I divided my shoulder to shoulder height, which gave me 7 inches. Now I'll be taking the darts and I'm using 3 inches for my darts. I'll come out by 1.5 inches on this side and by 0.5 on the other, and I'll do this on this line as well and rule that. Next, I'll come down here by 0.5 inches and I'll connect it with my curved ruler just as you see me do. Now at the shoulder line, I'll come down by 1 inch and whatever I have left, I'll divide it by 2 and mark that there. Then I'll go in by 0.5 inches, connect it like so and form the armhole curve. For the neckline, I'll be using 2 3/4 inches here and I'll come down by 2.5 inches. For now, I think I'll be altering these measurements later, and then I'll connect what I have here with a curve. I'll go ahead and connect my shoulder line, and whatever I have there, I'll divide it by 2 and mark the middle. From the chest line, I'll come up by 1.5 inches and I'll take 0.5 inches out on both sides and connect it just like this. Now I'll be moving on to the order of the day, which is the neckline. And for the neckline, I'm going to come down by 6 inches. If you don't want it to be as low as what you see in the picture, you can just make yours 5 inches so it won't be that low. And I'm going to go in by 4 inches on that line. Now on the neckline, the initial neckline that we drew, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. Then I'll connect it to the 4-inch horizontal line that I drew. Now you can also go ahead and measure what you have left here, because we'll be using it to bead the neckline. I also went ahead to mark my round waist measurements, after which I added the allowance that I took for the darts. Now I'll be straightening out the bust darts so that I do not have any sharp edges. And when I'm done straightening out, see that there's some space created there, so I'll just measure that and add it to the round bust darts that I measured previously, and I'll be connecting that as well. Now I'll come down at the bust line by 1 inch and I'll connect it like this, and I'll be cutting that out to form the bust, the under bust dart. So I'm cutting out this piece now. Please watch carefully as I'm cutting it so you know the areas that you should cut and the areas you shouldn't, and I'm sure this piece will come out just as beautifully for you. Please do well to like, share and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more. I'll close up the darts now and secure it with my tape. Now for the back piece, I'm just going to rule 1 inch for my zipper allowance. Then I'll go ahead to remeasure my basic body measurements just like I did at the front piece, and I'll just rule that. Now I'm going to take my darts line on the waistline and on the chest line, and then I'll rule a straight line through that. I'll go out on both sides by 0.5 inch. Now for the neck of the back, I'll come down by 1 inch for the neck depth, and then for the width, I'll use the same as the front, which was I think 2 3/4 inches. I'll connect the back darts. Now to prevent any zipper bulge, I'm going to come down by 6 inches. Then I'm going to come down again by 7 inches, and from there I'll go in by 0.5 inch and I'll connect that just like I'm doing, and connect down to the waistline with a straight line. Never mind the other line you see there, that was a mistake. So I'll take my waist measurement and add back the 1 inch allowance, same for my bust, and I'll come down on the shoulder slope by 1 inch and whatever I have divided by 2 and connect it to form the armhole of the back just like this. I'll connect that, then I'll go ahead to add whatever I took for the zipper bulge and add it to the waist, and I'll be cutting out the back piece now. We are on to the last step, which is the cutting and sewing. Now I've gone ahead to place the paper and I'll be redrawing the neckline to achieve what I want. So I came down by 0.5 inches. I just came down there and redrew the line, and I also came out by 0.5 inches, and I'll be connecting it to the neckline, to where I want the neckline to stop. That is the 4 inches that we drew at the beginning. So I'll just connect that like so to get the new neckline that I want. So when I redraw this with my pen on the paper, this is what it looks like. So this is the new neckline we'll be working with. I'll continue adding my 0.5 sewing allowance, and I used 1 inch for the side, for the sewing allowance of this side, because I'm really managing the fabric that I have. But you can go ahead to use like 1.5 sewing allowance for this side, but I'll be using 1 inch, and I will now be cutting out the front piece. For the other front piece, I added 1 inch at the top there. As you can see, I still use 0.5 inch for the sewing allowance of the bust area, but I used 1 inch for the top for reasons that I'll explain later. So now this is all that I have. I'll now add 0.5 inches. I'll mark 0.5 inches for the joining. When joining, to make it easier, you can start from the under bust line there and sew down before sewing upward. So I went ahead to sew this, and this is what I have. The neckline is already looking pretty and coming into shape, and the next thing I'm going to do is to cut the facing for the front. So I'm really managing my fabric, like I said, so I just folded it as little as I could, and I'll be cutting out the neckline on the facing before I remove the front piece and then mark the width or the how large I want the facing to be. I'll go ahead and pin the facing down to the front piece, to the neckline of the front piece, and I'll be sewing round there with 0.5 inches. I won't touch the shoulders, just the neckline. And now that I've turned this around, this is what I have. It's looking very neat, even though I haven't even pressed it yet. It's looking neat. So I'll be doing the same thing for the back. I'll be cutting out the facing for the back. I'll trace out the neck, and then I'll remove it and mark the how large I want the facing to be, and then cut that out as well. So I marked it on fold, which is giving me 2 pieces, and then I'll mark 0.5 inch for the neckline, which I'll be joining and turning it just as seen. Now I'm bringing the front piece to the back piece. I'll join the sides and the shoulders, and I'll be weaving the insides to look neat. So once I was done with that, I went ahead to attach my sleeves and the lower bodice. You can use any design of sleeves that you like. I'll be releasing tutorials on different stylish sleeves. So if you're interested in something like this, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you could get more of our videos. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I hope to be seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.